on the YT. I'm live on the YT. I am a thrifter. I am a reseller. I am a live host on both TikTok and the YT. Thank you for being here. I have been a live host for a little over a year now. And the way I run my lives, I'm live Monday, Wednesday, Fridays from 6:30 to 8 a.m. Eastern Time. I do a little coffee talk from 6:30 to 7. We're just warming up the room. Then we get into the topic of the week, which this week the topic is list it, don't perfect it. So if we are resellers, how long does it take you to list an item? Good morning, emotionally stabby. Good morning, how are you? How long does it take you from the time you source the item to having the item actually go live? How long does that take you for each item? Good morning, Nicole. How are you, friend? Good to see you in here. We are live on the YT as well. If you want to go support, same handle, Luna Thrift Slux Finds. You can find me there as well. Nicole, thank you so much for asking. So, for our friends who may be new in the room, I was laid off from my corporate job after 10 years there back in January. I took some time to reset, I took some time to figure out what I wanted to do. I did try to make a go out of reselling. Good morning. Thank you so much. Short Stuff Shops. I love it. Coming in on the backup or on the other account. So if you guys are wondering how the interview went, I think it went well. I'm hard on myself. So they were like, I haven't interviewed in over 10 years. So and then before that, I hadn't interviewed since 11 years in my prior job. So, a little rusty, a little rusty. Well, that's not true because when I was in my corporate position, I did interview for a local supermarket chain called Wegmans, which I did interview once during that time where I was thinking about leaving um, uh, the corporate job that I was in. But anyway, it went well. I had the nicest, kindest interviewers. So it would be the person that I would be reporting to and the person who previously held the position. Yes, Pappy, they were so nice. I like really appreciated that. Short Stuff says Deborah was just saying the same thing about different accounts. I'm sorry. I don't know who Deborah is. Short Stuff. Who's that? Deborah was just saying the same thing about different accounts. I'm not sure. Good morning, Time. How are you? Financial. Hold on. I don't understand, honey. I'm sorry. I'm confused. I'm confused. In our agency. I don't know who Deborah is. Who's Deborah? I don't know who that is. I'm good, Time. So I'm doing a little update on the interview. It went well. I'm hard on myself. Thank you so much for your daily heart me time. Yeah, I don't know who she is. I have not been as active because number one, good morning, Al. I've been really like working hard since unemployment benefits finished, working really super hard on the reselling business. Good morning. And then also busy with applications and applying for jobs and interviews and all that. So okay, let me tell you how the interview went. So it was with the hiring manager and the person that previously held the position, two lovely, lovely ladies. The offices are beautiful, very nice offices. I was like very impressed. It would be the type of job where you go in 3 days a week and you get to work from home 2 days a week. You're not going on site, which could bring you money, girl. Yes, yes, I know. I know. You're right. Okay, Kat, after this, I'm gonna jump on there. Since today, I'm so excited what Kat's talking about is um, the Zon influencer program has on-site where you can make review videos and make affiliate like dollars off of that. So she's right. I got to talk to you about that though, Kat, because I thought that my videos were accepted, but my videos were not accepted. So I'm not really sure if I have on site. So I have to check on that. But anyway, let me go back to the interviews. So they were kind enough to even say to me, okay, we're going to ask you 4 questions. One is situational, 3 are behavioral. I can never say that word, behavioral questions. So they and they said, just got approved yesterday, so I got you. Oh, you did. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations, Kat. That's amazing. Um, so they they set me up with that. They said, we know that interviews can be stressful. We don't want you to be stressed. We want you to feel comfortable. Um, they said all the right things. They were amazing. So that I said to myself, my goodness, if I get this job, I think I would love working with these ladies. They were just amazing. Let's see. I'm just checking the YT friends and making sure, like, I got a message on my computer and wanted to make sure everything was okay. So, um, I think I answered all of the questions well, except for one question that I felt like, oh, I just wasn't confident how I answered it, but I answered most of the questions well. And then there was a writing test. And so like, honestly, friends, I'm a communications person, but for the past 5 years, I've spent my work in the community engagement portion or community engagement realm. So I haven't really had my writing, I guess I haven't been my writing is a little rusty in terms of internal communications. It's an internal communications position. My area is mostly external comms. There is a difference, a big difference. So, but I do have internal communications experience. So I just wasn't completely confident, but it's okay. Like, I remember when I applied for my previous position, like, I remember leaving the interview feeling like, yes, I knocked that out of the ballpark. I hit a home run. I felt great. And I didn't feel that way. Now, it could be again because it's a little bit of mix of, you know, it's not my preferred thing to do, like to go back. Like, I really wanted to make the reselling work. Um, you know, um, I really wanted to, be an entrepreneur, but reality hit that I had to go back. I couldn't make the business work in 6 months, so I have to go back. Um, so yeah. So I think it could be a mixture of that. It could be, that a lot of it reminded me of my previous corporate job. Um, which is an area of comfort, but I don't know. I don't know, friends. Feeling all kinds of things, all kinds of things. Friends, if you're joining, I'm Luna. This is Luna Thrift Slux Finds. I'm a thrifter, a reseller. I am a TikTok and YT live host. I go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6:30 to 8 a.m. Eastern Time. As you can see here, this is my schedule. We're in the coffee talk portion of the live. This is where we just kind of warm up the room, talk about what's going on in our lives. And what's going on in my life is I just had an interview with an organization that I'm really hoping to get a position with. But that was on Monday. And so it went well. It went well. I don't think it went, hi, Heidi, how are you? Yes, it went well. I haven't heard from the other organization that I previous worked for many, many years ago for about a year. I haven't heard back from them, but I want to share something exciting. Okay, so let me just get some coffee. in New York State, which is where I live, when you are receiving unemployment benefits, the Department of Labor will email you every once in a while with like interview workshops, like workshops on all kinds of things, right? Like job fairs, all that. So I did get an email last week from the Department of Labor about a workshop on civil service exams and working for New York State. I never thought of myself as the type of person to work for the state, but I was like, you know what do I have to lose, right? So hold on a minute. Let me decline that. Somebody's requesting. So I went ahead and decided to attend. It was about an hour and a half workshop in person. Good morning, Moonflower. Moonflower, I'm talking. I know that you're on the journey too, my friend. My friend Moonflower is also job hunting. So I had an interview on Monday. It went okay. I find out next week um, if I got the job, which is good. Like, I love that it was an interview with the recruiter, an interview with the hiring manager, the former person. Good morning, Shelly C. And then that's it. Like, it's so different from my former company where everything was so many rounds of interviews, and also in academia, which I've worked at a university, where it's like so many rounds of interviews, and you talk to like six different people, and there's a panel interview. And I'm just like, I'm so glad that they didn't do that. I'm so glad. Yes, fingers crossed. Thank you. Heidi says, our state requires you to take two workshops to continue benefits. Yeah, so I exhausted my benefits. I kept a spreadsheet of all the places that I applied for jobs, because my understanding is that that's something, they can ask you at any time, but no one ever reached out to me. No one ever asked me, for that information. So I was lucky in that sense. But let me tell you guys, the workshop was really interesting, and it so the thing that is most attractive to me is the pension plan. So, working for the state, there is a pension plan. You're vested in only 5 years. My desire would be to work. So I'm going to be 52. I'd love to work till 62, 63. I think that I'll be able to, if I'm not mistaken, as a 1974 baby, I'll be able to collect Social Security at 63. I think that's the new age limit. So the, those are I'm already thinking about, like, I'm like, can I hang in there 10 years? But the message that came across was just get your foot in the door, because once you're in, then you're eligible for different exams. So what's really cool is that New York State has this. So in the past, and I don't know if you guys know this in your states, or if it's the same in your states, certain jobs you could not get unless you took the civil service exam, which I'm not a bad test taker. So I don't mind studying for an exam. I don't mind, like, that's not something that makes me nervous. I feel confident that I can do that as long as yep, PA2, yes. So, um, but what New York did, and this is very interesting, and I don't know, Moonflower, if this is the case in PA. What New York did is, during COVID, because they had to pause all civil service exams, and pause, I believe, hiring during that time as well, they were backlogged on positions. So when the world opened up again, they had all these positions and not enough people to fill them. So they created a program called New York Helps, which allowed agencies to fill jobs without requiring the civil service exam. So there are positions that are open to the public. You don't have to take the exam. Then there are positions that are only for people who are ready state employees. And then there are positions that like you have to take the civil service exam. So I love that there's all these options that I never even knew about. So I learned a lot from that particular workshop yesterday. I'm so glad that I went, and I'm so glad that I'm having like a little bit of a different mindset because now it's not about climbing that corporate ladder of ever wanting to be successful. Like, yes, of course, it probably will mean like a big cut in the paycheck or whatever. But like if there's a pension in the future, like it might be worth it. It might be worth it. Good morning, Cassie. How are you, Cassie? Oh my gosh, Cassie, I can't wait to watch your series on how to be successful on Thread uh, and The Real Real. I want to watch it. I want to watch it. I can't wait. I can't wait. So yes, so the interview went well, friends, on Monday. Not as I didn't go out of it feeling like 100% confident. I was a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. I was feeling a little sad on Monday. Yesterday, I felt better. Today, I feel a little better. Like I keep thinking about it, replaying it in my mind. Oh my God, for us overthinkers, right, Elle? I keep replaying it in my mind. And I'm like, okay, it went it went well. It wasn't as horrible as I thought. Good morning, Joni. Good morning. I love your name. Shop Joni's Closet. I love it. It didn't go as horrible as I thought. Um, and my mom is in here. Good morning, mommy. I didn't see you earlier. So good morning, friends. And then the second thing, so what was the interview for? Oh, yes. So it was for a employee communications business partner position. So my background is communications, like external communications, um, so for the university, I did a lot of media relations, which is pitching stories to local media, to national publications, trying to get the university's name out, trying to get what we call in the business earned media, not paid media. So paid media would be more like, where you're paying for advertising on social media or, those paid advertisements you see in publications. That's paid, but this is organic, earned type of media. So you pitch a story and a reporter covers it. So that's external communications, media relations. So I did that for 11 years for the university. When I went into corporate communications at the corporation that I was at, it was media relations again, but the difference was I was really doing it on a more national level. So I was pitching like the Wall Street Journal, I was pitching CNBC, I was working with reporters from like national publications, the New York Times. So lots of, high pressure writing talking points and scripts for leaders and in the organization. You should be teaching that on TikTok. I don't know. Maybe. 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 So I think what made me really successful at media relations is that I used to be a reporter and a producer. I used to work for a local PBS station. I did that for about 5 years. So because I can see the other side and I know the things that reporters are looking for, you know, um, let's see, Cassie says if they don't hire you, it's their loss because you are amazing. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you. How to get a story to big media brands. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. You're right, Kat. You're right. I could do that. And that's like the part that I missed. So for 5 years, I went into, so the last 5 years, so I did that for 5 years at the corporation. And then I went into community engagement. So community engagement, thank you. Shops with Joni says she agrees with Cassie. Thank you so much. Um, so here's the thing, like I feel comfortable talking about these things like when I'm just talking in general, but I was a little nervous in the interview, so I don't know how well I got my skills across. I mean, I think I did a good job, but